Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this devotional with Chaplain Dan. I'm Dan Bonner, and it's my privilege to tell you what you already know, in a sense. It's getting to be almost Christmas. And in the spirit of that growing anticipation of the great celebration that we have as believers, but also in our culture, the stores are just humming. Amazon is serving. Delivery trucks are running. Well, maybe not to the grocery stores, but to many places. We are in a season, a festival of celebrating what happened, well, over 2,000 years ago. We know that. The beautiful creches that many of us have in our homes, the figures that are likenesses of Mary and Joseph and the baby in a manger. I don't want to describe that too much because we're not there yet. There's still some days. But what I'd like to do today and the rest of this week is turn back with you to that first chapter of Luke's Gospel that is a powerful, and probably for you as it is for me, the best known, the best taken in story about Jesus' birth. Luke tells it so clearly and so plainly. In the first chapter, we find that there is a particular birth that gets the spotlight. We've talked in previous sessions about another miraculous birth announced to Elizabeth and her husband Zachariah, that being the birth of John the Baptist that Gabriel, the archangel, announced. But later on in that first chapter, there is the story of, if you will, the primo birth. Yes, but I want to suggest today, in addition to the power of the story we all know, I want to suggest today that as a woman in a little toe patch town named Nazareth was going about her business, that she received what I call a gift that was not earned. A gift that was not earned. And to amplify that, I want to suggest that in the first 3 verses of Luke's first chapter, not the first verses, but the verses that tell the story of this woman, her name, we all know it, was Mary of Nazareth. It starts in the 26th verse, and I'm going to read just 3 verses today for us. It is the introduction to this extraordinary woman who got a gift not earned. In the 6th month, Luke writes, in the 6th month of Elizabeth's pregnancy in that same area, God sent the angel Gabriel to this little village called Nazareth, a town in Galilee, to a virgin, a woman who, well, I don't need to describe to you in living color what a virgin is, but a woman who had no knowledge of and no plans to do anything except pursue faithfully and expectantly her anticipated marriage to a carpenter named Joseph. But for now, Luke says she was a virgin, pledged to be married to a man named Joseph. There, I spilled the beans too early. A descendant of King David. Joseph was a descendant of King David. Why is that important? If you were Jewish, it would be very important because the promise had been in what we know as the Old Testament, the prophets. In the Hebrew scriptures, the promise had consistently been that the Messiah would come and he would be of the house and the lineage of King David, that is, keeping the line from God's initial covenant, intervention, promise, gift to people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and on for a few generations until David, and then on for several generations to this carpenter named Joseph, a descendant of David. And the virgin's name was Mary. There it goes. But then the verse I really want to ask you to reflect on with me for a moment. The 28th verse. The angel went to Mary and said, "Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you." The Lord is with you. What a promise. What a hope. What a gift. I'd like to suggest today that we consider, yes, how Mary felt. We'll get into that next time in greater detail. But really, the circumstance of Gabriel's pronouncement to Mary, the archangel of God in Greek mythological language. In other words, a story that would communicate to the people influenced by the Greek culture as opposed to Jews. And that's people, well, frankly, our ancestors as Gentiles. So, I want to suggest that in addition to this being a great affirmation to this woman, this young woman, it is the foretelling of what God is doing here, being a great affirmation of the same kind to you and to me. What? Mary is special. Mary, oh my goodness, so much has been made of Mary, and in various sections of the church, great emphasis is put on Mary and her blessed appropriateness, her virginity, her simplicity. I'd like to ask you to consider, without hearing this as criticism of any other church tradition, that as special as Mary was, the proclamation from the Archangel Gabriel, was the same proclamation that the Spirit of God, the holy presence of God, offers to you and to me. As the title of this devotional suggests, this gift from God to Mary, and through her Son's proclamation that this good news shall go forth to all people, that God loves you, and God accepts you, and God forgives you. That is the most extraordinary gift. And it was of the same nature extraordinary, I suggest, as the gift to Mary. She came face to face, heart to heart, with God's presence in her life. That's what Gabriel was telling her. And in that God has that same presence in and growing in our lives. My brothers and sisters, we have an extraordinary gift. And it's not one we earned any more than Mary, the Virgin, Maiden of Nazareth, earned it. Like Gabriel came to her, that gift comes to us. And that, my brothers and sisters, that we are given this to accept and live in as our hope, and form the principle by which we can love and love and love our neighbors, free of judgment and condemnation. That gift is not earned, but nonetheless, it is precious. I'm going to suggest it is for us as it was for Mary, the most precious gift we've ever received. May our faith and hope in Jesus Christ's proclamation, her Son, born and raised and then inspired to proclaim good news to all people. we have a blessing. And I hope that that simply adds joy to these days of preparation for Christ's birth. God bless you, my friends. And next time we're going to talk a little about the very human response that Mary had initially to Gabriel's proclamation to her, and see if we can't learn a little about ourselves from that. This is Chaplain Dan wishing you, in these last days before Christmas, a blessed, blessed time. We have a gift, not earned, but so precious. God bless you. I'll see you next time.